Hi. I have no idea what my plans are for this live. In starting this, had no intention to pull cards or anything. There's just a subject that I wanted to bring up and see if I could make my way through explaining. It has been on my mind for an extremely long time, for years. And with what has been happening, especially over the past few years, and what everybody spiritual or not, honestly, I think everybody would be able to feel this on some level. The amount of crisis that is in the air right now, this is extreme chaos. This is really like a lightning bolt. This is the tower at the very moment of impact. The lack of control that is rising amongst us. I mean, we could all understand just by observation how uncomfortable it can be for people in the way that they project and behave generally when they feel a lack of control. We can understand how difficult that is to process. I'm sure, again, we all felt it. But speaking for myself, I had no idea that this level of crisis, chaos, that this, what's happening right now, would be so impactful and so chaotic. Externally, everything's crazy. Internally, everything's crazy. And the subject that I wanted to bring up regarding all of this is the importance of spirituality and a connection to something that you can surrender to and trust and put all of your your melting into, to something that you surrender to, that you can feel safe in that surrender, shameless, guilt-free. We need to do everything we can to create little pockets of those emotions for us so that we can give ourselves a fighting chance to live a joyful, full life. Spirituality connects you to that in one package. Culture and tradition connect you to that in one passage. In one package through very small passages and walkways. They are a bit narrow in my opinion, but they are narrow in a way that is necessary, that is passed down, that is ancestral, which is so important, especially for people living this current life, being able to observe the direct evidence of what happens when an entire peoples are oppressed. There's a specific frequency of trauma that holds, a very specific one. And that trauma entails shame and guilt and just living in a constant state of grief and fear and not enough. There are plenty of us walking around this earth with those emotions naturally ingrained into us because we weren't given a fighting chance through understanding our culture, our tradition, where we come from, or some kind of spiritual understanding with the unseen. Because the unseen is always here, just because we can't see it. And I know everyone here knows. It's just unbelievable to me that we still have to fight to let that be the truth, fight even ourselves. To remember that God is real. And that not everything here that we see is everything. So I think, again, it's tying back to the topic at hand, because I haven't actually addressed it directly yet, but and this will be the first time that I'm verbalizing this on the internet, no less. But I believe that part of, hey Pearl, bless, and I totally understand that. Thank you for your presence. Okay, I'm scared to say this directly because it feels very controversial and like blunt. But I feel like there's going to be a rise in depression, suicidal ideations, and suicides. And it will be especially prevalent amongst Black families, Black children, and specifically young Black men, whether they seek out to actually kill themselves or they do so in a way, or they do so in a way that's covert, where they live a life that reflects a complete lack of meaning and a lack of connection. I believe that will be the root, obviously, of the mental illnesses which when I say mental illness, I personally refer, or I automatically link it in my mind to a spiritual illness. Because like I'm saying, those two worlds are deeply connected, and it's a thing we need to keep reminding ourselves. We need to really program this stuff in so we don't forget it anymore and we don't surrender when the devil pays a visit, you know? we set tea for the devil. We don't be afraid of, we don't fear him, we don't try to kill him. We set the table and we be present, which I think as a sidestep is exactly what needs to happen right now. This kind of chaos really knocks you in the back of your knees. And if on your knees you still refuse, you're going to be knocked at the back of the head. So anyway, I believe that the remedy for all of this remains an acknowledgement and a reverence of what we cannot see, and more particularly of those, hello moya wetu, more particularly of those we cannot see, of our ancestors. But I get the sense that we especially, okay, I'll speak for myself, coming from a colonialized lifestyle generation, how disconnected I am from my tradition and culture. I've strayed away from what the original idea was. But because this is something weighing on my heart, I can just start anyway. I can say in my personal experience that disconnection is the reason why I feel the way that I do. I've been feeling, especially when I feel melancholic and depressed, I feel very powerless. And in a way that very clearly reflects a disconnect from a higher power. Because that powerlessness should be fine. But it doesn't feel fine to me. In moments of chaos, it does not feel fine to me. And again, with a connection to the unseen, to my tradition and culture, which has rituals for this kind of stuff, which we know work, or have at least we can understand the root of how they work, at the very least. Sure, sometimes they don't work, but I'm sure we have the ingredients of how we can make all of the spiritual across the board. I'm sure we have the ingredients of how it can work. And I'm saying that's important right now. And it's so important that if you don't take heed to it, again, not to fearmonger, because we are powerful and we get plenty of chances from our universe, from our ancestors. But if we don't follow the instruction, if we don't surrender, if we don't do things properly according to how we receive it, maybe our personal experience, if we don't humble ourselves, then we are going to put ourselves in a kind of trouble that really doesn't need to happen. It really doesn't. But it will happen if you don't learn, listen, do the things. I feel very worried. I feel so worried. Because it also feels so unnecessary. Could this be the universe forcing me to look within? Our minds are so detached. Yes, absolutely. To look and to feel within. Because they can look and they can see, they can break down things logically, because it's easy for a man to do that. But if he's not willing to feel all the way through and surrender, like how I've been suggesting, and it's not easy for a man to let go, right? Men have to stay in control. If it doesn't happen, then yeah, that's when I believe the men do the things that they do, especially in this country. I hope that we can also remember as well to pray for others. The people who understand how spiritually intense these times are have their own kind of bubble that's been fortified through everything that we've learned and been picking up for years now. I'm sure we can all attest to how spiritual our lives have been as an experience over the past few years specifically. We've been learning, we've been in school. It feels like the time that we're in right now, we're walking through like a portal, like a doorway into a new way of being that we've been preparing for, that other people may have not been privy to this whole time, that other people are only awakening to now. You have an umbrella around you for it, for the work that you've done. It would be a really wonderful service, actually, it's just a suggestion, that actually works. For you to pull everyone you love close to you in prayer, not just in what you do in everyday life, but when you think of people lovingly and you hope for better for people, hold those people, the members of your community and the people you love, in your heart and mind. That is the extent of how spiritual this time, spiritual and energetic this time is, this world that we're going into is. That's how everything will become. It will go as far as that. Where just thinking of someone lovingly will do the work. I'm concerned as well that part of the slew of people who will be feeling so lost that they will not, so lost, sorry, I don't want to speak like that, so lost that they won't be able to feel a return. It feels like that sense of being lost is a very spiritual thing, very energetic, and ties into the touching fact that nobody's thinking of them lovingly in that way. That's something that's been touching my heart. I feel very, very sensitive, very tender-hearted right now. This phase that we're in feels like a phase of giving birth and the contractions leading on. That's interesting. Yeah, I saw, I don't know if you've seen it, but that video of Willow Smith saying these exact words, that when she's having, she described a thought thing though. When she's overthinking, she feels like this, that her mind is having contractions. But you're very right. And it's been very hot. It feels very heart-centered to me. Time has also been doing a thing where like, I'm looking now, I've been on for 13 minutes. It genuinely feels like I've been on for like 25, 30 minutes. I've been feeling exhausted. So tired. Nothing helps. It's like I'm being set up to be this tired. And I mentioned it on social media about how it seems very necessary for you to be exhausted during spiritual processes. I'm remembering now to the truth, I believe, that this pressure puts a physical stress on your body that makes you tired. But Esinako responded and connected to the same dot I brought up, which is that you need to be in a state of surrender. Surrendering is so hard. The state that I'm in, I don't even know if I can say we can do it. Like, I feel lost. I feel the pressure of this void. We're growing and about to pop. Yeah, exactly. And I'm so grateful that you're bringing up that comparison, because when I read it there in words, it feels like a joyous thing. Birth is so exciting. That's new life, right? I don't feel... But I guess, yeah, according to the title, there's a lot of pressure. Okay, thank you for your words. Thank you so much for commenting and for sharing your thoughts. As much as this is really important for me, that using this as an outlet. A past version of myself would have just cooked inside the corner of my bed for as long as I could. I want to pull cards to see if any messages of encouragement or guidance come up, so that I don't leave this live stream so where I'm at, you know. I really want to remain uplifting, and I can feel. I'm sure we can all feel it too. That through this chaos and doom and all the shadows and shadow work, there is this persistent stream. What do I call it? Stream. It feels like a wind, like a pressure tunnel, or like you're describing it, a birth canal. The pressure it's very painful, but I can feel the work that it's doing. And I can understand, I'm starting to understand it on a deeper soul level, and I hope the same for everyone as well. And that this is the stuff that we should be including in our prayers too. And that we need to pray. Don't stop praying and lighting a candle and using water or soil or whatever the mediums are that you work best with. Please be open as well please be open. Please be open to understanding that you're gifted. That feels random. Please be open to the gifts that you have. It feels like because of the stress of the pressure of these moments, some of us may be pushed to these feelings of extreme loneliness. Through that extreme feeling of loneliness is how you'll realize that you're not alone. You'll come to the actual field realization of how real specifically our ancestors are. That recognition and moment of connection with your ancestors, I believe, will be the transferal of your gift. Once that moment happens, every day after is going to be very wild, very spiritual, very much, oh, they are my ancestors. There they are again. Oh, that's what they're saying. You know, instruction and guidance, I feel like, is going to come very much online right now. Very specific instruction and guidance, like the one I was talking about in previous readings, where we feel internal impulses to do something. That's not just you, that's your ancestors telling you to do something. Anytime you find yourself in moments where you do things out of or beyond your, surrender in that very moment. And remember then and there, oh, my ancestors are present. All right. Then, take a step back and let them inspire you to do things. Let them let you know what they want from you. And stay alert to that. That's the kind of danger I'm saying can come upon people who just don't want to listen. They're always speaking to us. Just listen. Don't not listen right now. Please don't not listen. Please, please, please. Oh, our ancestors feel very strict in the sense that there's something that needs to be done now, and we are the ones to do it. And we have to buckle down and do it, because if you don't do it, someone else in your bloodline is going to do it. And the it that needs to be done is so charged with its own weight and necessity to happen that it feels like our ancestors are willing to discard, no, because they return home. They're willing to just, take out anyone, swap players, doesn't matter. At any time in the game, it doesn't matter who. If you're not playing the game well, you're off the field. Yo. And doing it well is just, we know. Anyway, let me shuffle and see what comes up. This is so random and specific. It's random because, wow, of all things, but so there's a reading that I'll link in the description of the live stream from a Queen Cup Tarot who read about, she received these cards. No, it was the 10 of Coins actually, but it's the same energy. She received these cards, 10 of Coins and the Page of Cups, and spoke very fervescently about a union. And I think, Pearl, you, and I'm only pointing you out specifically if you're still present in the live stream, because there was readings ago where I read for one of the tarot shows. I read for your love life and felt resonant with your curiosity about when it would come. I'm in disbelief still. So I'm reading this from my shadow and my place of doubt. But there's this feeling of, okay, we're preparing for this. That's why it's so painful. I'm not entirely sure why, though, what the pain has to do with. Okay, I see. So we have been through a lot of really deeply, it may not have even been traumatic in the way it presented, the way you experience the situation. And I'm specifically saying this because you may be someone who compares your story to others and says, oh, whatever I'm traumatized by, I shouldn't be that traumatized about it because that person went through that thing and that's very much more traumatizing than what I went through. So, and they're fine. You know what I mean? Cut all of that out and just sit with thank you, Pearl. Sit with the frequency of the trauma, the way that it generates a feeling of shame in you and shame and guilt and slumped shoulders, that stuff that's not empowering, that makes you feel like you're a victim. We know that feeling very, very well. It feels like we may have gotten over and over and over and over again for a time in our lives where it kind of makes you want to turn to the camera and be like, really? That really did our hearts in. So it's like we have a very hard shell, very sharp and prickly around our hearts. And this grief and the chaos and everything that's forcing us to break down and burst into tears and stuff is on purpose so that we can crack our hearts open enough to be able to receive this. I, again, am in total disbelief because for me, this is my North Node. I'm a Libra North Node. So this is my whole thing, literally, no joke. This is my entire thing. This energy has been coming up very aggressively for me over as September started. So the last week of August into September. It's been persistent. I may be reading for somebody who maybe you're in a single, you're in such an intense singlehood that seeing this doesn't really click. Especially at this point, the chaos is so intense that you may not believe in anything. The joy may be so removed from your body that it's you have nothing else. Like I mentioned, when your back is against the wall, you really can only turn to God. And I'm saying when we turn to God, and this has been true for weeks now, even through the chaos, when we turn and we look at God, when I've turned and I've looked at God, I've seen this. I just don't get it. I don't see it. I refuse to see it. I'm still stuck in what feels at this point like a pessimistic delusion that everything is still going to go so bad, but not at all. And with these cards, that's an actual no. That's a very direct, a very beautiful union is coming your way. This will be a new beginning. You will need to trust it. Trust the emotions that come up because of how you have lacked it for so long and because of how part of you didn't believe that it existed at all. Lots of those emotions are going to come up. Feelings of random forms of self-sabotage, of inner thoughts that try to claim that it's not real, that even now, as I'm doing this reading, are trying to say that it's not, or you've kind of shrugged it off because that part of you is also self-sabotage. Not believing in this coming is self-sabotage. And I'm speaking to myself because I'm going to need to read this. I'm going to need to watch this again and really breathe into it and remind myself that this is everything. And not just the appearance of the connection itself, because maybe you're someone who doesn't believe in the nuclear family setup, but the feeling of, let me actually read the description. This breeds a feeling of safety for me. And I can tell you from my trauma that this, just the feeling, it doesn't even have to be what it looks like, just the feeling of this is everything that my inner child has been dying for, especially this year. So yeah, I definitely don't believe this, but it's been so present. But it's because I'm in my shadow. It's been so present. It's happening. I can't believe it. I actually still can't believe it, guys. The interpretation of this is commitment to a relationship, idea, or personal values, integrity, love, justified trust, the creation of something precious between two people, a satisfying long-term relationship with a lover, child, or friend, bearing in mind that this could also be, or rather links to, the feeling that you have of that within yourself. Before, when I said this, I was saying it to deny and to support the part of me that says, this isn't going to work out, to deny that this is going to work out. But this time I'm saying it sincerely, that this will be like a kind of spiritual revelation happening, though, through some external blessing, a union, something that will make us feel the kind of whole that by this point we're very tired of being told should be sourced within. I have been very irritated by the messaging that tells me that I need to love. I need to love myself in order to attract the kind of love that I want for myself. I have said so many times now, this week alone, that I can't do this by myself anymore. Period. And even if you are somebody who is used to doing things by yourself, this new beginning oncoming is going to feel so, it's going to feel like a sense of, whoa, so I really didn't have to do it by myself. But I did, and I'm grateful that I learned everything that I needed to. Yeah. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much for your message. I'm so with you. Yeah. I'm sitting with the feeling of loneliness and the feeling with identifying with the fact that you've been feeling I don't know, I'm feeling this sense of of sitting in our little holes, in our buckets and wounds of trauma, and looking out into the world, looking at everyone, seeing the way everyone lives and thinking, so is no one in this with me? Like, am I the only one who feels and was so wounded and who can't seem to let go? Is it just me? And it's going to be like that, like, oh, guys, I'm actually so wordless. I'm so speechless by this. And you absolutely do. You absolutely do. And by someone else, man. By a whole slew of people, actually, even. A whole, like, I don't even know if I'm saying that word properly, but a whole collective of people do love you, actually. That's the gag. It's not like we've been traveling this world unloved and truly alone, but it has felt very alone. And the point is that what's coming is going to be wonderful and truly unbelievable. And this is really difficult for me to believe. And this is very difficult for me to read for right now. But I asked for upliftment, and this is possibly the most uplifting thing this is the most uplifting answer that could possibly have come for us. I'm gonna shuffle for one more card, just for the gag, and see. God's probably gonna be funny. Guys, Guys, this is everybody. This is the person that we've been praying our whole lives for, even when we were children. And we would fantasize about being in like a happy, loving relationship. And we fantasize like building. Oh my God, I'm so mind blown by this. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, and there's the one of rods and the queen of dis underneath. So if by chance you've been wanting to be a housewife, this is crazy. Yeah. And just to broaden it a little, while we're in those caves, in those darknesses, feeling like we're alone and we have no one else, we've been wishing for a specific someone else who could make us feel secure, who could help do the work of helping you feel safe in the world. And this person, male or female, treating this work as a fact, as a standard, as a not even as a sense of adoration, or which obviously it will be, because you will be loved, okay, period. But the way I can't believe this. The way that this person will take care of you, it's going to feel like it was ingrained in them. Like they don't understand a reality where you're not taken care of. They don't get it. They don't understand why they wouldn't do it. Like anything you ask for. Any length of reassurance you might need from this person. Oh my God, anything, hey? Anything that can make you feel safe and protected. This person is going to agree to those things as a standard. It will not sink in. I can't emphasize this enough. This person isn't going to understand a reality where you're not protected. Do you understand what that does for your reality? It's the shit I was talking about earlier in this reading, where I was saying that it's important for us to hold each other lovingly so that we can build on each other's energy fields and kind of help manifest the people that we love's reality into love as well. That's how prayer works. This person he loves you, she, I beg your pardon. I really don't want to stick to a specific gender here. However, it does feel very he-coded, which is to say that I'm reading for somebody who, no, this is definitely not gender specific. This is just a very masculine, protective energy, or at least an energy that gets that, right? The role of protection, action, structure, you know? I want to keep emphasizing it because this is something that I don't think we were given in our moments of trauma and wounding. This is the thing, this is the frequency that we've been missing in our lives of expecting life to protect us and expecting people to love us and expecting good situations to happen for us. This person in line to match with you, this person on their way. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, guys, I'm in such this video. I actually can't. I'm feeling really emotional doing this reading. This person. Oh my God, this is so deep. Okay, so that moment when you were traumatized, it was likely the big impactful moment probably happened when you were a kid. Something really traumatic happened. You may or may not remember it. I know I don't remember it, but I do know that there was a pivotal moment in my childhood where just things began to shift. There was joy, there was innocence, there was magic, life was wow. Then something became, oh no, I'm not safe. I'm always in danger. I need to do everything to protect myself and the people I love all the time. That moment that you experienced as a child, someone should have been there. Someone should have been there to protect you and to pull you from that spiral that you created for yourself that we're still working through and trying to unprogram. Someone should have been there to protect you and pull you out of that spiral to say, it's okay. Life happens. You are still loved. You are still blessed. You are still lucky. You are still safe. That's all we need, really. We just needed that programming within us. This person holds that key for your safety, that they have the key to that lock in which your most traumatic and most tender spot is. That spot that's being opened right now with everything that's happening. Oh, that person's gonna come and like kiss it better. Oh, and we have to believe in it. I'm gonna explode. I'm gonna explode the day this happens to me. And I really hope, I don't know if this will even be, because I'm still in such disbelief, guys, but can you please, if you watch this and this happens to happen from whatever time, because my reading's timeless, but from whatever time it is that you watch this, please comment how soon after it happens. My heart. We're gonna be so happy that it's gonna hurt like this, kind of. Because we're gonna feel all of this. We're gonna be in the presence with all of this. Oh my gosh, guys, my energy. Oh, I feel this so deeply. It's crazy. We're gonna be experiencing this, and in that moment, we're gonna be really shocked at. I don't. Sorry. We're gonna be really shocked at the fact that we ever felt this kind of grief. And we're going to have a moment, a really mind-blowing moment. I'm getting the image of That's So Raven when she, and then the, you know what I mean? But it's gonna tunnel to a moment or to a very deep, impactful realization. And we're going to kind of speak to God in whatever language or in whatever way. And link it to, so you're actually real. You're actually real. And you were hearing me the whole time. You were listening, you know? This is so crazy, guys. I think that if I try to read anymore, it's going to be the message from these cards is so strong and so potent on its own that it's from that place that I don't think I need to say or do anything else right now. I just need to process and actually like get ready. I think we need to really sit with this and understand that it's happening for real. And not like what may have happened before, but something really new. And like the end of the kind of like inner turmoil, suffering, loneliness that we've experienced before. It's really the end of that for real. I'm not ready at all. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I have to stop there. To say that I'm excited for us is an understatement, but I'm also just like, really? I'm actually I'm gonna leave these cards just so I can sit with it by myself after this reading. Felt like there are two separate energies that happened here. And I just want to link them to remind even myself watching this playback that these kind of things are very spiritual. The occurrence of this, the life that we've lived, all of the lessons that we've learned, and everything that will lead us, that led us to this moment, that led you to this moment, and that will lead us to this moment, is all deeply spiritual. And as such, even through all of this happening, we have to keep our devotion grounded, our devotion to God, especially those of us who are quick to lose themselves in relationship. That's me. This relationship is going to be a lens of God. It's going to be deep. Let me stop. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, I'm so speechless. I didn't even... Get ready. Get ready to be loved. I think it's going to be a lot harder than we would have ever anticipated. But it's going to be really fun. And we're always safe. That frequency itself has arrived now. We are safe. We're safe. That's the mantra. Okay. Thank you. I will see you in